it's Sophie. Today I thought that we could talk about relationships and specifically getting through a breakup. I've pretty much all been through them, and sometimes we don't necessarily know how to handle them, so these are some things that I have compiled and that I've learnt from personal experience and through walking with my clients through this situation and what has been useful for them. So first thing is acknowledge it. Acknowledge that this is a hard time, that this is a very emotional time. There could be lots of feelings as well as the heartache. There might be anger and some resentment or guilt or frustration or just that lack of closure. If you didn't have that, can be frustrating. So there can be lots of other emotions wrapped up in just the fact that this is also a termination of something that you may have known for many, many, many years. So acknowledge that it's a challenging time and that it is actually chemically hard as well. A scientist called Lucy Brown, through her research, she learnt that people experiencing heartache when looking at pictures of the person they're broken up with, that their brain lit up in the same regions as people experiencing cocaine withdrawal. And that word withdrawal is quite key, because within the breakup you're actually having a withdrawal from that person, which is why people do those behaviours such as ringing the person at God knows what time in the morning, doing in hindsight what are quite irrational things to have done, and things that they perhaps wouldn't have done had they been able to put themselves into a better mindset. So acknowledge that it's a hard time and reach out to other people in your support network and ask for their help in getting over this person and getting through this breakup situation. Have a bit more compassion for yourself. This is a tender time. You are perhaps going to be emotional, so try not to take on any more extra things that could tip you over the edge into stress. So have that extra compassion for yourself at this time. Another key thing is to actually separate. Although you may not technically be seeing that person anymore, I know that it would definitely be harder in a situation where you were perhaps working with that person and you did have situations where you were rubbing shoulders with that person, but in places where you can make it avoidable, that you're not having any contact with that person, then do so. This is definitely deleting that person from your social media or making it so you can't see their things in your feed. And if you're really struggling with willpower, then you might need to block them so that you can't just check in on them, just see how they're doing, and it never is the right thing to do. Don't look at their pictures on your phone. You might need to remove them, make them inaccessible again. Like that study, you don't want to increase the withdrawal symptoms that you'll feel, which increase the feeling of heartache, because in this case withdrawal is experienced through heartache, whereas with sort of substance based addictions it's experienced with whatever's relevant for that addiction. the shakes, you know, all that things. Something else which science has proven to be useful is to actually make a list of all of the reasons why you don't actually like that person, and perhaps why they're not good for you, and why you don't make a good fit for each other anymore. It sounds like, oh, maybe I don't want to do that, you know, or it's a bit harsh, but science has proven that it is the best way to remind yourself of why what you have done is a good decision, or if you weren't the one to break up, then you know why the outcome is now the best outcome. And review this whenever you find yourself missing them or pining for them. Another thing to do is look at your life now. You will have, most likely, you know, this will probably be even more apparent the longer this person has been in your life. Look at all of the ways that person shaped your existence as it is now. You may have had a lot of habits in your day that revolved around that person. It could be anything from the way that your day actually played out, the interactions that you had with that person. Perhaps you looked forward to them, perhaps they were a kind of staple, a marker for your day. It can be anything from like what you ate, what you listened to, what you wore, where you went, who you saw. Everything can have been influenced by that person, and it may be hard to feel like there is a point to anything else without that person around. So take it as an opportunity to actually write down even a list of things that you would like to do now. Maybe you were holding back on doing some things because you were with that person. So take the opportunity now to rediscover some things that you would like to do. Maybe even write out some things that you'd like to put into your day now that you have that time. You know, is there a different structure you'd like to bring to your day, to your week, to your month, now that you have that freedom to do so? And actually plan some of these things. If there's things that you definitely did want to do that you were holding back on, actually, you know, take the time to plan them, schedule them, put the money aside for them, whatever it is. Get them done, you know, make the most of this time. Another thing is to review, sort of reflect, look back. What can you learn from your experience of being with that person? You know, good things, not so good things. Anything that you would do differently moving forwards into a new relationship, or just in life in general. You know, what can you learn from this experience? Find something worthwhile within the experience, even if it was quite a terrible relationship. There's always things to learn. Tia, wait, don't chew the carpet. What are you doing? Yeah, take it as an opportunity to learn about yourself again. A lot of people lose themselves in relationships with another person, especially romantic relationships. They kind of mould themselves so much around what they think that person wants them to be like, and how they want them to be, that they do lose themselves. They lose a sense of themselves. So take time to find yourself again and rediscover who you are, your own authentic desires and wishes and wants, and your likes and dislikes, and get back to yourself again. Another thing to bear in mind is judging the relationship and not yourself. It's really tempting to internalise things, you know, making it all about yourself. I did this, I did that, it's because of what I did, what I said, and it's usually not so one-sided. You know, learn from it, as I've previously mentioned, but acknowledge that this simply wasn't a good fit for you. That's why it ended. You may make some changes to be a better person now, or be a better version of yourself with the experience you can learn from the relationship, but it doesn't mean that you were a bad person to begin with. You know, arrive at the belief that you are worthy of love and that you will find your true person you're meant to connect with in the future, and that you will survive this experience and thrive from it in time too. For people who are more spiritually inclined then and would like some strategies that their spirituality can help them with, then I recommend release rituals or even release spells. Simply, you could write down everything that you didn't like about yourself in that relationship. Maybe, you know, it was that you started to pretend to like something that you didn't like. You can write that down and burn it, or use any of the elements to release with. You could do, you know, a releasing bath ritual. There's loads of ideas for these sorts of things. I'm sure you can find them online if you don't have any ideas yourself. You can literally write things onto your skin with like eyeliner or something, and you know, bathe them off. Obviously you do visualizations and stuff. All sorts of things that you can do in terms of release rituals and spells. You can do tarot spreads. Obviously relationship based tarot spreads may be something to help you pull out some of the lessons that maybe you can't see so objectively yet from that relationship. I'm pretty sure that Kellyanne Maddox has some tarot spreads relating to relationships, and Lou Valcourt as well. There'll be lots of people you can find to help with that if you don't read tarot for yourself. And generally taking the opportunity for more self-love and self-care, you know, filling your cup back up, replenishing your resources. Yeah, just learning about yourself again. So to just quickly review, acknowledge that it's going to be challenging, separate yourself from that person as much as you can. Don't look at pictures of them, don't look at their social media things, and make a list of all the things that you didn't like about that person, all the reasons why the relationship wasn't so good, and review it when you find yourself missing them or pining for them. Take chance to review, you know, review what you may have learned, review how you want your life to look moving forward, plan things to do for the future, ask for support from other people. You know, you don't have to go through this experience alone. Other people will probably want to support you through it. Remember to judge the relationships when you are reflecting and reviewing. Make sure you make it about the relationship rather than making it personal to you. doing release rituals or spells, or relationship, insight, tarot spreads, and increasing your self-care and taking a chance to reassess what else you could do to find yourself. I hope that this was useful. If anybody has any further ideas that they found extremely helpful when they have experienced a breakup, I know I'm talking more generally in a romantic sense here, but obviously we break up with friends, we break up with sometimes family members, work colleagues, you know, we can have breakups in other relationship situations too. So anything that you found useful, also pop that below if you'd like, share links to other resources. And yes, thank you for listening, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye bye.